Hey there guys, welcome to another edition of Chalking with Babycakes. Today I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of towels, okay? I think I got 5 or 6 different stencils, maybe 7, but they're going to be quick and easy, I promise. Inking is just like chalking in the sense that you do the same thing. You get your stencil and you put it down just like you do in chalking. And you know me, I don't measure anything. I just kind of eyeball everything because I like the little imperfections that you get from not doing everything so precise is what makes all my products uniquely mine and unique to you. Even though I may make more than one version of each product, because I've done like these farm fresh butt eggs or butt nuggets before. I've done this stencil before, but I always do it in a different color and it just always turns out different every time I do it. So this time I'm going to use a dark maroon type color, but it's the same process. Oh, what I do with my stir sticks. And not that, so you still want to stir. I'm going to have to come over here and get some stir sticks. I thought I had them all over there, but I guess I used a lot of them or something. I don't know. Okay, now I got some extra stir sticks. Okay, so you want to do the stirs. You still want to stir your ink. Now your ink, if you see, it's a different consistency than your paste is. Your ink is a lot thinner, but it's still got some weight to it per se. And because it's thinner, it goes on a little bit differently than your paste does. Your paste will not bleed through as much as your ink will. So when you're inking, again, just like when you're pasting, you don't want to paint it on there, but you also kind of want to be careful where you put it on, and just kind of put on a little bit and then pull the ink down or over to meet the areas that need to be inked, because the ink can bleed through your stencil. And I am holding this because I do not have a sticky surface underneath, and therefore my fabric moves a little bit more. And if you see, it does take a little bit more ink than it does paste to cover areas, because the ink does absorb into the fabric a little bit more than the paste does on a surface. And you always want to be more careful with the ink too. The ink is not as forgiving as the paste is. The ink will, you can't fix a mistake when you do ink. Not as easy as you can when you do paste. With the ink, it is a permanent. Once I heat set it, it will not come off of here. I'll throw that in my little bath over there. So I did have a barrier, because you always want to have a barrier between underneath your fabric, because the ink will bleed through. So this one's done. Just show you that real quick, how cute that looked. And I'm going to set this somewhere over to the side here so it can dry, and I can start doing my next one. Now I have pre-ironed all these towels. Wipe that off of there, because I don't want to get that ink that I used for the chicken on this towel. So the ink is the same concept as chalking, is inking, except for you will have to heat set it to make it permanent. I think I'm going to do this eye roll one. So here's one that says eye roll. Eye rolling is my cardio. So I'm going to do this in actually 2 colors, and I wasn't going to do that today, I wasn't going to do different colors on these, but I thought this one would be cute to do different colors. And I think I'm going to do 2 different colors of blue on this one. So, oh, if I could get that open. The other thing you want to be ever so careful about is getting it on your fingers. So it is a permanent ink. So if you do get it on your fingers and you touch your fingers to your surface, it will stay on your surface and or on your towel, whatever you have going on. So you always want to be careful to make sure that you don't get it on there, because then you're not going to be able to get it off. All right, I'm going to use a smaller squeegee because the smaller squeegee will be able to get into the area. Now, because I'm going to be doing 2 different colors, I decided not to slap my ink on here like I typically do. I just put a little bit on my squeegee, and then I'm just going over the areas that I want to get with this color. Now, the great thing with the ink is if you're doing multiple colors with the ink is you don't have to be as quick with it as you do with the paste. And it's okay, you don't have to do the paste and peel method. Hence it's called paste and peel, not ink and peel. But the ink does not dry as quickly as the paste does. So I can leave this on here and do a second or third color and know that I'm not going to have any issues with it. Now, just like the paste though, you will want to get this off, if I could talk, tongue tying is a thing. You'll want to get this up and off and get it cleaned up. Ooh, see, I got some ink on my finger here, so I'm going to want to make sure that I get that cleaned off so I don't touch the towel with it. I didn't bring one of those over. I'm going to get my multi-tool because I'm going to do these, the weights in the dark blue color. So I don't want to use a larger squeegee, especially if you're trying to get into smaller areas. You want to use a smaller squeegee to make sure that you don't get the ink or paste all over the place. So that's what I'm doing with this. And if you see I keep dabbing it in, it looks like I'm painting it, doesn't it? Well, sometimes when you're getting into this smaller area like this and you don't know how much you're going to use, it kind of looks like it. Gosh darn it. Now once you got this all good and covered up, both sides. Now you can see, like I said, I left that on there longer than normal. And I'm still going to leave it on there. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw all this stuff in and get this stuff cleaned up. Throw it in my water bath and get this stuff cleaned up because I want to show you that the paste or the ink does take longer to dry. So it's not, you don't have to be as quick with it. So I'm going to get this stuff cleaned up real quick and hope I don't want to use these colors again. Oops. Get in there. That's why I'm not a basketball player. And of course I need to, see, I got it all over my hands. So sometimes if you're working with ink too, you might want to think about using a apron or something so you don't get it all over yourself and all over your clothes. Now remember, when you're pulling, you want to make sure that you're pulling at a 90-degree angle, because you do not want to stretch the silkscreen portion of it. Because if you stretch the silkscreen portion of it, then you're going to ruin it. And there you go. Eye rolling is my cardio. Wouldn't this make a great gift for somebody who likes to work out, or somebody who likes to roll their eyes, like a teenager, a younger teenager or something? Shouldn't say a younger teenager. A teenager who's fixing to leave the nest and needs something in their house. Okay, so now we're going to do another one. Get this stuff moved up. If you can hear, it's quite windy outside. It's very, extremely windy outside. Get this tucked in here. Telling you, it takes longer for me to get this set up than it actually does to ink it, doesn't it? Okay, we stick with this theme. My head says gym, but my heart says cupcake. Let's stick with the workout, not workout theme. And this one, I'm just going to do all in one color. Now remember, all these towels will be for sale. You can get them during my, during my live sale. Oy, my hands don't want to work. Oh, I can't get this, I really can't get this one open. Okay, I'm not even going to try and make a fool of myself. I'm going to find what I did with my thing and get a different gray out. Wow, I must have got that one on tight. I don't know how I did that. There we go. Let's hope I can get this one open, guys. Getting old sucks. You young people remember that. Losing your grip is not fun. Okay. So I'm going to do like I did before with the other one. I'm just going to dip my squeegee in there and just kind of go at it. And this is just how quick and easy it can be. This is going to be like a really quick and easy one because I'm only doing one color and I can just pull all of this at once. But the end of the P was right there at the edge of the stencil. So I wanted to be careful because again, you don't want to get this off outside the lines. Don't color outside the lines with the ink, because if you do, you're not going to be able to erase it. And I have my water bath over there. It's getting a really nice, yummy color over there with everything in there. Just move those over there. Get this out. There you go. There's that guy. I'll throw him down there. Now, like I said, once these are all dry, I don't know, did I say that? Once these are all dry, I'll go ahead and heat press them. And once they are heat pressed, they will be permanent. You can wash them in the washing machine just like you would regular laundry. Dry them just fine. They do last quite a while. Kind of like the towels that you buy, the other towels that you buy that have designs on them. They'll last just like that. I had something I was going to say, and now I just totally forgot it. How many of you do that? You have something on the tip of your tongue, and then bam, it's gone. Just poof, gone. Who can relate? Hands up if you can relate. All right, here's another one. This is a good kitchen one. Let's get mashed. Hope you guys mind if I don't talk too terribly much. I wish I could play music in the background and just do it that way, but I'll get in trouble. It's not allowed. So I won't do it. Okay, I think I'm gonna do this one in a green color, if I can open the jar, because these little jars seem to be giving me a little bit of a hassle. And this is a little area, so I'm just going to use a little squeegee, and again, just go over it just like I did the other ones. You can get, there are several different types of squeegees in sizes. There are larger ones, so when you're doing a larger project, it'll cover a larger area quicker. There are little teeny tiny ones, so when you're doing a small project or need to get into little teeny tiny areas, you're able to do that without mixing your colors up per se. So it's just really quick and easy. Yep, that's going to be fun to clean out. Let me move these around a little bit so they don't kind of get stuck on each other. Uh-oh, there it is. Get my little dry towel. Always have a towel. When you're chalking or inking, always have a towel that you can use to dry your hands off, to wipe things down with. I have this little neck towel. There's that guy. I have this little neck towel, neck scarf, towel scarf or something I think they call it. It's super cute, and I use it especially during my chalk and talks. I will take it, put it around my neck, and then walk around, and it's great. So when I'm cleaning stuff off, I've got that to quickly dry my hands off with, or if I need to wipe something down, I've got it so I can wipe something down. If I do forget my my little towel scarf, I will take and just take a towel and drape it over my shoulder, kind of like a burp rag, you know. I don't know, maybe that would be a good idea, is to get a burp rag. Okay, we'll leave the other two for last. I think I have 3 more towels, but I'm only going to do, I have 4 more towels, including this one, but only 3 more stencils, so we'll only do 3 more. We're not even to 20 minutes yet, guys. So this one is Baker's Gonna Bake. I think I'm going to do this in 2 colors too. So this one might take, I don't know. No, I'll do this all in 1 color. I think we're just going to be boring with this one. We're going to do it all in black. For those people that like just nice monochromatic stuff. Monochrome. I don't know, am I making up words? I mean, I know monochromatic's a word. The black ink I have found is a lot thinner than the other inks as well. So it does bleed through a little bit more so than some of the other inks. So if you do not get your stencil down really good, it will bleed through and underneath it. It's very important that you have a smooth surface that you're working on. If you are not working on a smooth surface, you do run the risk of your ink and or your chalk, if you're chalking, you run that risk of it bleeding through. So make sure that you are, make sure that you have your stencil down very tightly like that to prevent that. So Baker's Gonna Bake. I suck at trying to do this, doing it in 3s here. Trying not to get stuff everywhere. Because if that ink does get on another portion of the towel, I won't be able to get it out. So the other thing is yes, you do have to heat set it to make it permanent, but even right now, even though it's not heat set, if I would wash it, it's not going to come out. It will still be faintly there. So even if it's not heat set, so just keep that in mind. And I know because I have tried that. So these are 28 by 28 Floursack towels. They are $8 a piece, so if you're interested in ever getting one, $8 a piece or 2 for $15. That's a special I have going on. So if you want them, you can grab yours below. If you like one of the sayings but don't particularly like the color, let me know and I will go ahead and customize a color for you. So this one is your crazy is showing. You might want to tuck that back in. Another quirky saying. I love the quirky sayings. So this one I'm going to do it all in black, except for the tuck. The tuck I'm going to do in this bright blue if I can open it. Because as we've seen, I am weak and I can't open things. I'm going to do it just like I've done the other ones. Just because for me, working with ink is a lot different than working, well, not different. It's significantly easier, honestly, than working with paste. Now, the other thing that is the same when you're working with the ink and the paste, if you're doing layering with the ink, you can take, and it does take the ink longer to dry, okay? Now you can take and do the same thing with the ink that you do with the paste and use a heat gun or a hair dryer to dry it a little bit quicker so you can go ahead and do your layering. Now if you do get your ink too thick, and that can happen, and your ink feels, gosh, it always feels tacky. And if your ink is coming out where it feels tacky, then you've gotten it on too thick. Even if it's been drying for like days and it feels tacky, then you've gotten the ink on too thick. And it will take a lot longer for it to dry, to completely set. I've had towels, and now it hasn't affected them in the long run per se. I've had towels that were like that. I was able to heat set them, and I'll always, after I heat set these, I'll run it through the wash at least once, and then I'll if it's too wrinkly, I'll iron it back up for you. But even when you heat set these, if it's tacky, if there's too much ink on there, it'll still be tacky even after you heat set it. Now it won't come off. It's not gonna wash off. So yep, you can see on this one where some of the ink, I got it, some of the black ink too thick on the bottom part of it, and it bled through. And that's what happens with the black ink sometimes, because it is thinner. And as you can see, like some of the wording looks a little bit lighter because I didn't get it on thick enough. Now what I will not do is I will not, with paste I would put it back down and maybe go over it, but with ink I won't do that because it's really hard to get it back on. Again, I'm having issues here. It's very hard to get it back on a fabric, a piece of fabric, to where it matches up. Okay, there we go. To where it matches up correctly. I've tried to do that before and it has not worked out for me, so I just don't try to do that again. I just let it be imperfect, because that's what makes it uniquely mine, right? Okay, here's the last towel, guys. This one says it's all messy: the hair, the kids, the house, life. I think we're all kind of feeling that these days. Everybody's all cooped up, not able to go very many places or do very many things. It just hasn't been a good time for most of us. But hopefully we'll come out of this better and stronger and more loving toward each other in the long run. So that's my hope and prayer for you. Make sure you're kind to everybody out there, guys. You don't know what the person next to you is going through. The person 6 feet next to you. You don't know what it's like for them, what struggles they've been going through. So just take that into consideration before you start accusing and pointing fingers. We're all in this together. So this, I'm going to do one straight color. I'm going to do it black. No, I'm going to do it brown, if I can get this open. Next time I'll make sure I have these opened beforehand so you don't see how I can't open things. As I like to say, that's why I have a husband. My husband opens it for me. When I can't get things open, that's what my husband does. will be the last of the towels that I'm doing today. You see, I did what? 6 towels in less than 30 minutes. And the only reason it took me this long to do them is because I chitty-chatted all the way through. I was being a little Chatty Cathy, wasn't I? I hope I've answered a lot of your questions when it comes to chalking and inking. If you do have any more, I'd love to hear them below. I will answer your comments as you put them, or as I see them, I will answer them. If you're ever interested in joining me, I do hold Chalk and Talks once this whole quarantine stuff is over with. I will be holding Chalk and Talks again. I can come to you. You can come to one of my regular scheduled ones. And I would love to have you come and join us. Grab some people together and I will come to you. Let's see what else. I can put together birthday party packages. If you have a special, because all my stencils, I've got a ton of stencils, right? It took me like 12 hours the other day to organize all my stencils. You saw all of those. But I may not have exactly what you want. So if I don't and you want something custom made, I can make you a custom stencil. It will cost you $10 extra for the custom stencil, okay guys? But I can do that and bring it to a Chalk and Talk with me for you. So anyways, all of that, all the good things, there you go. I hope you enjoyed today's edition of Chalking with Babycakes. And until next time, y'all stay safe, y'all stay healthy, and I hope you're making it through. All right, thanks guys.